You start reading that stuff and you're going to be like in a sea of misunderstood words. Because it's written in code. It's not even written in straightforward language like Prabhupada's books. It's written in some arcane code. You have to get past that or you won't get anything out of it. So, what can I say? It's esoteric. This is esoteric. You have to go in and discover it for yourself. I can give you a roadmap. I can give you a direction sign that says, go this way, go that way, try this, try that. But ultimately, you're going to have to face Krishna alone and approach him on your own and deal with him directly. There's only so much that I can do for you. Remember the example of the airplanes. The airplanes flying in the sky, and there are many airplanes, and they can all talk to each other, and they can all talk with the ground control, flight control or whatever. But as soon as one airplane gets in difficulty, really there's nothing the other airplanes can do. There's nothing that the tower can do. They have to figure out, they have to deal with their own problems independently. So that's what it's like when you're working on yourself, when you're trying to advance in spiritual life. You have to work out your own path, according to the tradition, the Buddha's last words were, work out your salvation with diligence. And I would agree with that. You have to work out your salvation. There's nothing I can't just, throw a handful of pixie dust on your head and then you automatically become enlightened. I mean, that only happens in Disney movies. It doesn't happen in real life. And if you accept that idea, then you get cheated. Somebody comes along and, blesses you with his peacock feather and fan and, then, asks for a big donation. That won't work. So what you have to do is take the things that we're saying and apply them in your own way. Explore them. We several times used the example of learning how to ride a bicycle. We can draw nice pictures of bicycles and diagram all the forces, with a nice vector scale diagram and, the rotational angles of the wheels and the whole thing. Angular momentum and da-da-da-da. But then when you hop on a bicycle, all that goes out the window. Yeah, bam! Ooh, ow! Try again. Boom! Right? So, I could really be very simple about it and say the object of riding a bicycle is not to fall down. See? Or I could give you a little more structure and say, well, first of all, you have to get going fast enough so that the angular momentum of the wheels helps to balance you like a gyroscope. Now, when you actually ride the bike, you're not thinking about angular momentum and gyroscopes. But it fixes in your mind the reason for the instruction that you have to ride at, a minimum speed. And the speed actually helps you balance the bike. See? It gives you a model that you can internalize. And then when you actually ride the bike, you can remember that and maybe fall down a little bit less. See? Or, don't move the handlebars very suddenly. That's another one. Or if you want to turn, you don't actually turn the handlebars, you sort of press down on one side and let the bike tip a little bit, and then it automatically goes around the curve. See? These are little hints that I can give you, right? But still the object is not to fall off. Not to fall down. So similarly, in spiritual life, I can give so many instructions. I can give general instructions or I can give very detailed instructions. We can talk on a platform of do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, yama niyama. Or we can get into a whole detailed analysis from the psychological platform, or from the platform of Sankhya, or from any number of different ontological platforms. But ultimately, you're going to have to sit down with those beads and chant that holy name and come face to Krishna yourself. That I cannot do for you. All I can do is give you hints, give you encouragement, give you some ideas, some models of how the process is working. And then it's up to you. You have to chant. You can read all these books and you can get all these ideas and, different people's instructions. People in the West like to read books. It's nice and safe, You can read a book, has all these words on the page. It's very comforting. Somebody is telling you what to think. Very nice. Oh, good. I don't have to do anything. But then the actual practice is different from that. The actual practice is messy. It's not so neat and linear. When you write a book, you have to put your thoughts into a linear sequence because that's how our language works. Or maybe you make some diagrams. It's not quite so bad, but still, when you organize your thoughts, you're limited by the structure of our language. So this may give the appearance that when you actually do the practice, it's similarly a nice linear sequence of events. But it's not like that at all. You start to do one thing and then something else happens and then you get distracted and something else comes up and then, you have to go to the bathroom and, it just goes on and on like that. Life is more complicated than anybody can express words. So the person who actually becomes self-realized is simply the person who dives into this and figures it out somehow or other. And I can give all kinds of hints and tips, and I can share my experience, and all that good stuff. But finally, you have to sit down, put those beads in your hand, and chant that mantra until you get somewhere. Okay? And all of the acharyas are there. We're all rooting for you. And we're all giving the best advice that we know how to give. And it's still not enough. It'll never be enough. You have to sit down there and do it. So it's the same with this business of consciousness. We can talk until we're blue in the face. But you have to sit down and actually look into your own consciousness. You have to look into your own experience while chanting the holy name, hopefully. And in that way you will find your own solution to all these problems. And it might be different from mine. I think you were saying, who was saying today? They had... it was you, wasn't it, Ananda? You were saying that you had some similar experience while chanting without doing any of this other yoga stuff. Or
yeah, it was Uddhava on the forum.
Was it Uddhava? I forget. So many people write me sometimes, I forget. Yeah, all right, when you were chanting 64 rounds. Give him the mic.
Yeah, that I've never had any talent or anything regards energy or yoga or any mystical stuff. For me, that's completely blind. So I just chanted the holy name 6 months ago or something, all day basically. There's some posts I did on the forum about that.
It's on Naimisharanya, so not everyone has access.
Oh yeah, that's true. But basically I just sat and chanted, and I got all the results of doing all the other stuff without any knowledge or experience or anything.
Yeah.
And I was amazed because I remember I started asking you, why do I feel some energy in my forehead and like that. And you said, oh yeah, that's normal. You just, this happens and that happens. And I was like, oh, I didn't expect something like that to happen at all. I was just thinking, oh, it's just the holy name. That's it.
Yeah.
But
just the holy name.
But I thought like I was dizzy or not eating well or something, because it was kind of weird. What is this, you know? But because you explained, it was much easier. And the cool thing for me is that it's just chanting the holy name. I mean, it really includes everything. There's no need for adding stuff like that.
Yeah. The chanting is the process.
Yeah.
All the other yogic methods and everything like that are subordinate to and in addition to the chanting. If someone gets stuck on a particular